Good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. So excited to be here again on another Saturday. Excuse me for my tardiness. If you're watching the playback, hey girl, hey guy, what's up? So yes, every Saturday at 10:30, we are going to be in the den. I am actually on vacation right now in South Carolina, but I had to come and let y'all know. Okay, we have to come to the show review because we're gonna get it anywhere. If you got a laptop and you got a Wi-Fi, we're gonna get this content out here. Okay, so we just gonna hop right on into the topics. We're gonna start off with divorce sisters because, like I said, this is gonna be the one that we are talking about mostly, and then I'm gonna get into never ever Mets, and then I'm gonna get into survival of the thickest. Let me know if you all want to review Scandal as well. That just came out on Netflix. So let me know. I'm going to watch it if y'all want to watch it. If y'all don't want to watch it, baby, we ain't got to watch it, okay? Because there's other shows too. So yeah, let's get right into the show review. So let's talk about Divorce Sisters, y'all. I have my girl up here, Naomi, because this is where we're gonna start off. Because baby, it started with her. She was cute. She was ready. And baby, they infiltrated her freaking whole house. Baby, the police came. We like, child, what's the police doing here? Well, long story short, they was coming to get the stuff her ex wanted. I guess in the divorce, what it all comes down to. And she was hot, baby. I was so glad when she threw them earrings. She should have threw all of it. Like, just imagine, like, you're just living your life and you're about to go to an event, and the police come and it's just like, we're taking all your stuff. Like, huh? They're raiding her house and everything like that. But throughout the episode, we see that he wanted that stuff back. But I'm trying to figure out, I need a little bit of like why they got divorced. Like, was it for the cheating? Did he find him a new girl after? Because if it was for the cheating, she should be able to keep everything. Okay. Because in some states, like if you get divorced for cheating, you get to keep everything. So y'all need to be looking at them North Carolinas and places like that, um, favor in the cheating and stuff as a law, because that's what you need to do. Okay. But also, I was like, girl, you got $36 million. Like, just go back and get the stuff. Like, go back and get that. Like, go back and get your cars and everything like that. Because maybe they had her in a rinky dinky car. She was so pissed. But yeah, I was just like, watching it, like, just take a step back and think, like, dang, imagine like you getting a divorce. And like I said, we don't know what the divorce is about, but like your mm, ex goes and just remarries somebody, and it's a YT woman. I think she's a little younger. I don't really know. But like, I feel like sometimes as black women we always get the short end of the stick. Yes, she got the money, but it's like, what did she really want? So I feel like we're gonna see like maybe what she really wanted, like what was going on. I hope they, talk about that because it's only been like the third episode. But Tyler Perry, I need you to tell us a little bit more. And so it was sad and embarrassing because her friends was there, so just feeling like sad and embarrassed and like guilt, and it's just like she doesn't really know how to move on. And I feel like that's a lot like women. We don't really know how to move on from situations until like we're completely done or over it. And so like we just have to move on to the next thing, like in life in general. I feel like sometimes you just like, okay, what can be done or what can I do and stuff like that. It's just like, well, now she really can't do nothing because he has another wife. So yeah. Um but yeah, I want to know like why they got divorced. But I was like, this is really relatable, even in relationships and stuff like that. You're just like, why? Like, why? And it's just like you don't really have an answer, or you can't really get an answer out of the people because they don't want to do you dirty. You can't, like they said, you can't expect the truth from a liar. Like you literally cannot expect the truth from a liar. They're not gonna be honest with you. They're just gonna say whatever they're gonna say, and they're gonna keep it moving. So like you have to just trust in your gut that you're a good person and that you're gonna be able to live this life. And I would just take that money and I would just be buying my own self, my cars and everything else that I wanted to do. So that's Naomi. So we're kind of doing like character breakdowns kind of now. So let me know what you think about Naomi's character, if you're feeling her, if you're not feeling her. Next, we're going to be do Rashida. And we're gonna try to do this. it it was kind of bad last time, but y'all, we gonna see if we can get Rashida. I think I got her. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself. So Rashida is kind of stuck in a hard place. Like, I don't know whether she's going to divorce or stick it out because, like, you have that image, like, you're a pastor's wife. You have to put on, you have to perform basically. But her husband is like so mean and nasty. Like, he's like, she's like, do you love me? Do you not love me? He's like, I know, I love you, but you never tell me, only on Sundays, which is crazy because if you watch her in real life, she did get a divorce and it was like, shoot. To me, her ex was really mean or whatever about it, and like she was like talking to him and stuff like that. But Latoya bounced back, so Rashida gonna bounce back, okay? But even in this, she's just like her friends are going through it. So she sees her friends having all these issues, and then she's trying to be like the savior and help them and talk through. But like she's having issues, she doesn't know what's going on with her, and whatever the pastor's name is, child, I think it's Jeffrey or something like that. Like, so it's kind of just like she's just the person that's kind of just hold everything together and just figuring out on her own. But it's like she's really battling like, does her husband love her? Is it just for the church? But if you watch the episode, she was like, now don't get a little too frisky, baby, because my grandpa's endowment is what got you that church. Period. Let them know, Rashida. That's what I'm talking about. Men always be forgetting where they came from and then want to get a little money and act like they don't know what's going on. Like, okay. And the kids are already picking up on it. The kids are just like, y'all only pretend like y'all love each other when y'all around people, stuff like that. And that definitely affects children. And it's like, will they get married? Will they not get married? They see their parents like performing in front of everybody, so they have their own perception of relationships. So I think that that's also something, is like trying to perform a relationship or trying to stay together for the kids. Like, I think they're staying together for the church, but I don't know, do y'all think um he's cheating on her? Do y'all think he's just like, I'm just with it for the kids? Or like, what do y'all think? Like, I'm trying to see if we can get a little bit more of Rashida's character, but like she's gonna be the person that's like, oh, it's good, it's all together. She tells her friends, but she doesn't tell her friends that much. But that one friend, Bridget sees it. So I don't know if it's gonna come out then, but child, I am so glad the banquet is over because they kept talking about this banquet, and baby, the banquet had a whole bunch of drama. That's why I like this show, baby. The drama keeps coming, boop, 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 boop. Like this drama is like good, kind of funny drama. When you watch it, you're like laughing, but when you're in it, you're like, oh my gosh. But when I think about it, I'm like laughing. So I think Rashida's character is going to be interesting, but I think Latoya is playing her character good. Latoya is actually a really good actress. I never really said that, but like she's actually a good actress to me. Like, period. Play your part, okay? So, child, let's get to our girl Geneva, baby, because baby, she is literally like shaking in her boots. So let's get her up here so we can talk about her. There we go. Baby Kadina's playing her part. Okay. So Geneva is stressed, depressed, baby. She having an anxiety attack. But I just want to know, like, does she want her ex? Because like, if she didn't want her ex, why is she acting like that? She's like, oh my gosh, like she's like, yeah, no, I don't need any help. Da, 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 da. What, like, oh no, like she was trying to cut the thing, she couldn't even cut the stuff. And baby Rashida had to take her to the back, like, girl, what's going on? You see Tiffany talking to him and having a good time, and then your husband's like, oh yeah, they're doing good, they're doing good. So I'm like, do you want him? Or like, because you're not playing it cool. Like, you gotta play it cool if you don't want him. Now, if you want him, let us know. Okay, tell us. Let us know. But does he want her? Does she want him? Let us know, Geneva. Let us know if you want him. Okay. But like, I forgot what was I gonna say. But with Geneva, she's like doing all this stuff. So it's kind of like I'm trying to figure out, is she gonna try to hold it together? Is she gonna tell Tiffany? Of course, in the previews, I see something like um Geneva saying like he's not this good person or something like that. So I want to know like what their relationship was. I hope she tells like one of the friends, probably Rashida, like what their relationship was. And I'm trying to figure out if it was one time they had sex, or if it was like multiple times. So yeah, that's the that's what's going on with Geneva. She's kind of like a little all over the place, like shaking up. So yes, okay. Let's get to the next person, child. This person's man be stressing me out. We gonna find her though. We gonna find her. Let's remove. Y'all already know who it is. Who do y'all think man be stressing me out? Bridges man be stressing me out, child. Like what? But he playing his role good though. But he is a stressor. But sometimes I feel like men gotta make you look dumb, so you know it's like, why am I here? Like, you know. But I want to know a little bit more about her. Like, how did they start dating and who is she? Because baby, she need a new man, but she is loyal to Rashida. She help her. She worked for them. So I just kind of want to know like what their background is. But she's trying to keep it all together. She's trying to be like, okay, we need this. Okay, we need that. When something happens, she's like on it. Okay, can we add a new seat? Okay, can we get this over here? Can and her man just over here like, yeah, where's the alcohol, sir? This is a church event. Like what? Sometimes like men really be embarrassing people out here. Like I be like, y'all gotta get a better man. So I'm just trying to figure out if she gonna break up with him and then towards the end, she's like, you got to leave. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't know. This isn't my yeah, this is not your crowd. But it's like, boy, you need to find a job. And then the guy that gave him a job, they got into it at the thing. And then Pastor Jeffrey was like, yeah, I'm gonna pray for you because baby, who is this that you have working for you? So that was crazy. Like he can't keep a job. He don't know how to talk. And he's just a bum. That's all. That's all I gotta say about her. So I hope she finds somebody else. I hope she breaks up with him because baby, we don't need bums. Like we need to tell our friends like, please let them go. We do not need bums at all. Okay, in our life. So yes, that is Bridget. That's really all I gotta say about Bridget. And let's go to our last person, Tiffany. Let's bring Tiffany up to the stage. Oh, I was doing good, y'all. Let's bring Tiffany to the stage. Yes, Tiffany to the stage. So, um, Tiffany likes William's best friend. Like they just found that they got in common. They just got things in common. Something about nature, but they're both divorced. And now she's like, oh, I think I'm really about to like, get out there and start dating more and stuff like that. And Geneva's like, and they're like, what? So now I feel like Tiffany's going to be stuck in a hard spot because she's like, oh, they introduced me to this person. But then I wonder, like, Geneva's going to tell her something because I said it's like in the previews, but we don't know what she's going to tell her. So I feel like if it goes left, then Tiffany's going to be like, yeah, no, I'm not dating anymore. Like, no, ma'am. But we just got to figure out what Geneva's going to tell her about him. And that's kind of that right there. I feel like uh, within the friend group, I thought Geneva and Tiffany was close, but now I feel like maybe Geneva and Rashida are closer. But I don't know. Um, because then it was like Bridget and Rashida, then Tiffany and Bridget were together. Then it was Geneva and Rashida, and I was just like, it's so much going on. But I haven't seen Rashida with Naomi. Oh, and that's what happened. And Tiffany. So at the end of the episode, it was a banquet. They were talking, they were doing everything. Well, they stood 10 toes down for Naomi, I will say, because their Naomi's ex came in with a wife, his new wife. And Tiffany was like, "Oh, those pearls look nice." She's like, "I got them from somewhere." Well, she's like, "Yeah, 10 karat." She said, "Oh, they look better on a melanin skin." Period. Because just imagine your man leaving you for a white tea woman. And honestly, it reminds me of Waiting to Excel. That's a movie, different time zone, different time frame. But they was standing 10 toes down. They was like, the lady was like, the white lady was like, "Oh, is that dragon gonna be here?" They're like, "Who? Naomi? Who? Naomi? Like, she got a name. Period. Put some respect on my name. Like, don't play on my friend's name. Like it was crazy. So they're all at this table and they don't even like him, and he has his new wife in there. Then Tiffany, not Tiffany, Naomi said she was gonna go home because she was drunk and everything. She didn't want to go. Y'all, why did Naomi pop up at the freaking banquet? That's what it's called. She popped up at the banquet, y'all. Popped up at the banquet, y'all. But then it ended. So we just gotta see. And I don't like this because they don't give no previews. Like when you watch Sistas or the thing, they give you little previews at the end of what's gonna happen next. Baby, ain't no previews, so you don't know. You just gotta watch. You just gotta watch it because there's no previews. But maybe it's about to be a shit show because Naomi's there, the ex is there, and then his new wife is there. Then you have Geneva and that love triangle. You got Tiffany there. It's all a mess. Like it's all a mess. And I just want to know, is this real representation of friend groups? Is it all a mess? Like we support our friends? Do we tell them the truth? Do we let them just live their life? Or do we like, no, this is not, they are trying to tell Naomi the truth. They're like, Naomi, it's okay. Like even Geneva's like, okay, no, girl, like you have to give that back to him. But Geneva is Naomi's lawyer, but baby, Naomi is pissed with Geneva. It's like, girl, what you doing for me? Like, is we friends? Is you my lawyer? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, Geneva, why aren't you stepping a little harder for Naomi? Because the girl got her own stuff going on, but baby, I pay you. So it's like, Geneva, are you gonna step? Like, when am I gonna get my stuff together? Like, when is the hearing? What's going on? So I guess in the next episode we're gonna see if she gets her stuff back. We're gonna see what she says to the ex, and maybe we'll like figure out like what is the reason that they got divorced, or like what's going on and why she's still trying to talk to him or something like that. Like trying to still like why she's still in love with him, because I'm like right now we're kind of confused. Like we're just like up in arms about like, okay, they got a divorce and now she wants basically her stuff back or whatever. She doesn't want to give away her stuff. Let's bring them all up here so we can see it. Okay. Boom. So yeah, so I'm like, hopefully next episode we'll see more Naomi, like what that really is, and like she'll kind of talk about a little bit more. Geneva, I'm still a little nervous. I'm trying to figure out, is she going to talk to Tiffany? And then Rashida, we're going to see what happens with her. But don't you just wish this was like on Netflix where you could just like binge watch it? Because baby, this waiting one every week, child, I need 8 episodes. I need 8 episodes, okay? Like I need 8 episodes on the Netflix, child. Like that's what I need. Like that's what I need. Okay, I need the 8 episodes on Netflix so I can know what is going on and that we can talk about it. So yeah, that's my review. I think it's going good. I don't necessarily feel like it's dragging. I think it's kind of like actually going at like a certain type of pace because it's 5 women, so I'm like it's so much happening at one time. But I like it so far. I think it's doing well, going well. But like I would like to see some of that background to kind of know like what we're getting into and why different things are happening. But it will show it over, the next course of the episodes. So yeah, that's my review of the show, the recap of the show. Let me know how you all like it. Let me know if y'all are watching it. And yeah, so that's Divorce Sisters. But I kind of segue into another show, and I'm going to bring it up here for y'all. I feel like um it was a segue to Survival of the Thickest. You know that Netflix, that binge, that 8 episodes, you know what I'm saying? So yes, this is the next show that I want to talk about it. Let me know if you all watch this, because yeah, I just want to know if y'all watch this. And if y'all do, let's talk about it. If y'all don't, then just my review so that you may go watch it later, right? So Survival of the Thickest is this on the second season. I've watched the first season, so if you didn't watch the first season, you might kind of be lost, but I'm gonna bring you up to speed. on the first season, and then we're going to talk about the second season. So basically, um, she found out her man was cheating in the first episode. She came home after work. The man was cheating. So then she left and she was focused on her career. She met this, I believe he's Italian dude, and fell in love again, only to leave him, like only to like leave him again, or something happened. They broke up. Like I like the ending is a little hazy on the season one, but they broke up. Basically, or he left for Italy or something like that. Child, something happened in that season one. But I thought it was good. I binge watched it, but clearly I binge watched it like last year, child. So I can't really remember all the things of it. I thought it was good. It showed friendship, it showed dating and different things like that. And I was glued to the TV. Like I watched all the episodes. Baby, this season two. Well, yeah. So basically, she's a plus size stylist trying to get her career off the ground, and then she was in a relationship for a long time. He cheated on her, and so then that's kind of how it was. Her name is Mavis, by the way, but it's played by Michelle, who is a comedian. Um, and yeah, season one was like boom. But season two, it kind of started off a little slow, so it was kind of hard for me to like, you know, get into it like that. But nevertheless, I persisted and I watched it. So let's talk about season two. And like I said, make sure you like this, comment if you watch this. If you don't, tell me if you're gonna go watch it, and let's just talk about it. So, she worked with Natasha, who is played by Garcella, some lady from Jamie Foxx show. That's all I know. And within this, she was like kind of hard to work for. Natasha was kind of hard to work for and wants everything perfect. So that stressed Mavis out. And I heard in the fashion industry though, it's like cutthroat. Da, da, da. So Mavis wants to be a stylist, so she ended up being Natasha's stylist for different things. But I also just wanted to sit there because, like, I feel like as women, like it's like we always have something to prove. Like, are we always? It's always like we're hard to work with or whatever. But is it we're hard to work with, or is it that like we just want our stuff done? Sometimes we are hard to work with. In the sense, it's like you always have to be like, okay, this, or like just rude and nasty. Like sometimes women could just have attitudes, and it's just like, why do you have attitude? Like, why can't you just be a kind, nice human? So I feel like it shows that like power dynamics that we're talking all about, like, oh, I want you here, oh, I need you here, oh, this, like, no, like just be a nice boss, like just be a nice person. And then it can go over into, your work and different things like that. And people will want to deal with you. So she was trying to work with Natasha, a hard boss, while also dealing with a breakup. But she had friends like Marley and Khalil that would help keep her grounded. I don't know necessarily Khalil's person in real life character, but Natasha is Angela from Why Did I Get Married? Like the show or the movie in general. So that was kind of cool to see her in there. But the season or whatever. But I would say like season two is kind of hard to follow. It was so many storylines. So I mean, they had the A, B, and C storylines. So they had Khalil's storyline, and they had Natasha's storyline. So it was like it was so much going on at once. And Marley had a love interest, and Khalil had a love interest. Okay. And Mavis had an HOE interest. She was in her HOE phase period. Okay. But then Natasha comes back and Natasha wants her to style her for these awards. She's supposed to get an award or something like that. And then Natasha ends up having a panic attack, like at the award when someone like when the like announcer announces somebody else or whatever. So then she like leaves and stuff like that. But really, I was like, I don't know if it was a hot flash or if it was what, because they talk about later on how she's dealing with menopause. And so I was like, oh, that is so interesting because now people are online, TikTok talking about perimenopause and stuff like that. So I thought that was relatable for that crowd, not for me, but that crowd. Okay. And so I was like, someone can relate to that, like talking about that and your body changes and you're having all these different things that's going on. You're hot, you're cold, you're sad, you're upset. Like the woman body, like women body changes all the time. So that's something that we all can relate to, from having your cycle to not having your cycle, body changing, like your body changes or whatever. And I don't think sometimes that we have that grace and that people have that knowledge and awareness that like women's body changes depending on what's going on. And it's like, no, like literally, like men bodies don't be changing that bod and this, but like women, we have things that we go through hormonally and everything like that. And I don't really feel like we have that safe space to kind of talk about it or to like allow it to happen because we're always so ashamed. You're ashamed about your body and people just want to love their body and stuff like that. That's a whole nother conversation. But just talking about this, I think that that's kind of where it's at. Like we're shamed for our body, but it's like we go through so much. Like, child, let us just love our body. Um, so yeah, and so then Mavis starts off in the show with her ex Luca, and they're on this date and hanging out. Then they like go back to the house and something like that. But baby, the sister shows up, and baby, his whole energy changed. The sister don't like the energy. I think they're talking in their own language or whatever, and the sister's like texting. I really think texting Marley like, "Child, the sister does not like me. I gotta go or whatever." So then it ends up being like Lucas telling Mavis that um that he can't trust her. And so she's distraught and she tries to have this HOE phase, what I was saying, but it doesn't work out. She meets people, but it's not working out. Then she met this guy at the bar. They did it. And then she like cooked for him and something like that. She was trying to give him food. He's like, huh, what? Baby, she pulled up to that bar. She said, what? I was just trying to, have a little fun. He's like, well, you made this for me. And so it's like, okay, like, okay. So they slept together. But have y'all ever been ghosted after y'all slept with somebody? Or after a one night stand, I should say. Or have you had a one night stand? Or would you ever have a one night stand? Let me know in the comments. Let me know, would you ever have a one night stand? Like, just imagine like they go see, but you can go back up to that bar, and that's exactly what she did. And so then, girl, she ended up finding somebody else, child, and they go at it. So that's basically, I would say, her sneakily. She falls head over heels, but she a little chill now. But all while this is happening, she is trying to get her fashion line up and stuff like that. And well, like her fashion pieces, I would say. So she goes to a wedding and her friend, she's in like the back with her friend. I think she's like a bridesmaid, something like that. Her friend invites her ex to the wedding. She's like, what? So she's like, she did not know that her ex is gonna be at the wedding, and she done brought the sneaky link as a date. Child brought the sneaky link as a date. So they was both up in there awkward, and she was having like a panic attack. She was like walking stuff like that. But then the new boo was like there, like, oh, do you want me to kiss you? Do you want me to do this or whatever? Baby, Luca's eyes was on her. Okay, so Luca's eyes was on her. But have you ever had that happen to you where you have your ex and your new boo in the same room? Child, that is so crazy. So, yeah, Luca had his eyes on her the whole time at the reception, and then she was with her like new boo, whatever, sneaky link. So they end up going home and stuff like that. Well, they, uh, Mavis and the sneaky link went home together, child. I don't even know. Luca was like drunk or something like that. So Khalil ended up taking him home basically. And when he took him home, he was like, oh, did you move back here? He's like, yeah, they like, did you move back here with Mavis, baby? Did you move back here for Mavis? And I think he kind of said, yeah, but he was like drunk. So he's like, baby. But Khalil took that and ran. Khalil was calling Mavis all night long, all night long. Then even showed up to her house. She's like, girl, he was like, girl, I was busy and stuff like that. So then they were like talking or whatever. They're like, the sneaky link was still there. He's like, she's like, I have to go. He's like, oh, it's your ex or whatever. He's like, yeah. I was like, dang, just imagine that, like you with this girl. And then she's like, oh, my ex is in town. I'm about to leave. Like, oh, the audacity. Like, is that not crazy to y'all? It's crazy to me though. But it is what it is because whatever. So then I'm trying to get all the things. It was so much happening because it's 8 episodes. But I'm trying to get the gist to it to get to the meat. Okay. So then like he's like, let's talk, let's get dinner or whatever, stuff like that. But then while this is happening, she has like her, I guess it's like her worker or something like that, calling her about her clothes. And she's like, oh, these clothes do not fit, like they're not the right size or whatever. But she's supposed to have an event for or whatever. So she freaks out. She's like, oh my gosh, it was like so much going on. That's what's life is like. One thing hit you, okay, my ex is back in town. Now my clothes don't fit. Now I gotta figure out this. So it's like, but every time she's always coming back with something or whatever. Like something hitting her, she coming back. Something hit, like she coming back. So long story short, she went on this podcast interview to like talk about the stuff, and I don't know if the people, well, the people was on the fashion designer side, so she kind of got into a fashion designer because the fashion designer is saying that he has these sizes and it wasn't these sizes. So then um the radio station kind of like groups her in, and then the fashion designer is there, so like they basically kind of start a beef. But I was like, actually this is relatable because that's a lot of talk online, like, fat phobia is real. That's a lot of talk online, and they're like, this isn't plus size, this is like plus size. I honestly, unpopular opinion, don't like the word plus size. That's just me. But it's like, okay, so the 2X, but you see this extra extra large and stuff. So like that's going back and forth with all these, clothing lines and stuff like that. But I was like, this is really relatable because it's like, okay, yeah, why don't you create your own or something like that? And it's sad because like right now within the sizing stuff, it's just like Rue 21 don't sell plus size online. Forever 21's going out of business. Torrid is closing stores. Lane Bryant and No Navy is like really all you got unless you want to go on Shein online or something like that. And also sometimes people don't want to shop online. Like you don't know what your outfit's gonna look like. You don't know what's gonna happen. So I just really feel like, dang, like it's crazy. And it's also good and it's highlighting that like the experiences of like being plus size and like shopping and different things like that. Like it's literally not a great experience at all. And so people want to throw shade and say like, oh, well then you should do so. But would you say this about somebody like a sick person? Or would you say something about that like, oh, if they don't want to go to this, or like, oh, if somebody has a disease, like you just don't know how people's real lives are. And so it's like you wouldn't just throw that like, oh, well you can get a small size, like, oh, da da da. But it's like you don't know. Would you be saying that to your friend or your cousin, or y'all just want people want to throw this like um healthy thing, but it's like it's all about aesthetic. And so as you see, even bigger clothes, like they're ugly, like you got to really figure out what you want to wear and stuff like that. So I think that is kind of hard with the fashion industry. So I'm actually like, oh, that's cool, like a fashion industry plus that girl trying to figure it out. So that's what happens there. But basically, she ends up showing this really cute outfit to them, to the fashion designer, and then the fashion designer sits and love it. And so it ends with like, oh, she can get a meeting with him and stuff like that. But that's kind of how the series ends. But in general, over it, it's like trying to make a way for like cute plus size clothing in fashion. I thought that was really good and also kind of relatable because people want to be cute. They want to be tea, right? They don't want to be ugly. So yeah, let me know how you, if you watch this, let me know like how you like the season, like I said. And if you didn't like the season, let me know too. But her storyline was all over the place. But I was trying to stick through it because I was really falling asleep. I don't know if I was tired or if the plot was like lost. But I was looking on TikTok and baby, people was talking about the plot was lost or whatever. But I feel like hers was like a slow burn kind of, like that. But I guess it got better um through the end basically. But while all this was happening, uh, we're going to get into um Daphne, who is played by Jerry in Harlem, and the Marley's love interest was Daphne. So Marley was falling for Daphne, but this was kind of different because Daphne was in the limelight because she was like a community, I would say community activist. She was like community pillar. But Marley's this bougie woman with all these designer clothes and stuff like that. And so whole time they were like going to private spots and stuff like that. Marley thought it was just to be like exclusive. Well, Daphne was like, no, I gotta watch. Like we can't be out in public because image. And so I thought like that was a great conversation because Marley wants to be out and stuff like that, but Daphne is like, well, I'm a public figure and then I'm in the politics. So like we gotta do a background check. We gotta make sure like, you're good for my image and stuff like that. And basically Marley was like, huh? Marley's like, I haven't always been like this. So she was scared and nervous because she's like, I like this woman, but it's like, what are they gonna dig up? She was talking about what she was doing with these white men earlier back in her day. And then she came and had a meeting with the image consult consultant, um, of Daphne's, and she's like, you're like, basically, she's like, you're a little too bougie. Like you have to wear these designer, like you can't wear these designer clothes, and like she's like, oh, do this for the people, whatever. But in that, I was just like, as Black women, I feel like we always have to shrink. It's like you're shrinking for love. Like, why do I have to shrink myself for love? But then also, why do I have to be put on this image? Like, I can't wear this. I can't be this person. Like, I can't be who I am because of who I love. And it's just like it's kind of sad. Like, why do I have to change myself? I love this person. They can do their thing, and you know, I can do mine. So I just feel like sometimes it's that like your image and your perception within politics and stuff like that, being in that limelight, it's like you have to have like this clear cookie cutter image, and which is crazy because right now some politicians don't have cookie cutter images, but being as we're Black women, we have to have this cookie cutter image. Like we can't be flashy, we can't be this. Like we got to show that we're down for the people. Baby, Daphne had Marley on that subway. Marley said, I ain't been on the subway in 30 years, okay? So I thought that that was kind of like, something that's like we have to change ourselves or like always be, quieter or like always have to like um be like, oh, like this is who we are. We can't show anything. And so I just wanted to know, like, if you ever felt like that in church or at work or even like in the community, like at church, we talked about it in the divorced sisters. Like, you always have to be like, put on, put on, put on, put on. And you can't really relax and be yourself. Like, what if I want to wear designer clothes? What if I don't want to ride the subway? Like, I don't have to do that if I don't want to do that. We should be able to live in our truth. And I feel like sometimes it's hard for Black women to live in their truth because of public perception or your image and different things like that. So I wanted to kind of talk about that, but let me know how y'all feel about that in the comments if you watch this. Like I said, as Black women, we always just have to feel like we're just like, I don't want to say a muppet, a puppet, whatever it's called, like a puppet, like, um, yeah. But this isn't really about Black men, but I'm gonna talk about Khalil because it just always seems like the Black men always have a happy ending and the women get played. So Khalil had a happy ending because baby, the lady he met was which was technically his boss, and like they wasn't trying to make it any further because he was working for her. But then he realized that he didn't want to sell $30 million pieces. I was confused, child. He's like, I don't want to sell it for these white men, rich men, like they don't even know the story or whatever. But he was selling his paintings. He was, she was, baby, she was selling the Black woman right there. That boss was okay. Chef's kiss. She was getting them things sold for him. Get you a Black woman, see to put you on, right? That's what it is. We need to get Black women to put us on. But she was selling them, and they were like going like hotcakes, child. But then his mom, I believe his mom was an addict, and I think that triggered him not wanting to sell anymore because she's like, look at these. She's like, look at all these corny white people. And it like said something in him, and I feel like sometimes it can, Black women can be your downfall or they can be your uphill. And so his mom was his downfall because he took her words to heart. And sometimes as like Black parents, like they just do things and they say stuff and they don't really know how that affects your child. So you're telling him basically he's kind of corny because he's selling stuff to corny white people. Like, think about that. When his art could be nice, it could be good. Like, his work is not corny. Now they could be corny white people, right? But like, why would you say that when they're buying his work? And I feel like that actually is what changed his idea of wanting to do it, because he has so much pride and he wants to make her proud and stuff like that. And like, as Black women, whatever, we want to make our parents proud and different things like that. But it's like, to the expense of what? To the expense of you? Like, I want to make my parents proud to the expense of my mental health? Like, no, thank you. So I feel like that kind of changed his trajectory. But then on all, he ended up saying like, okay, I don't want to sell these no more. I want to do it my way or whatever. But then he ended up getting the girl because they was kissing and hugging and stuff like that. They had this like, you know, pent up energy because they had chemistry the whole episode. So they had chemistry the whole episode, and so that at the end they were able to basically get their happy ever after. Well, I'm glad it's a season 3, so I can see what happens next, child. But yeah, I'm just like, men always begin their happy ever after. And look at Mavis. Mavis, no, she's with him. We'll see. There's a season 3, so we'll see. But like, I just feel like this season was relatable, like from the fashion designer, from the shopping to the dating and wanting to be in the HOE phase, but then it's like it's not really going too well. And then you're back with your ex, and like ex is always be coming back. When you be over a dude, they always be trying to come back. Like, what's up with that? Like, no, we don't need you to come back. But I like how it showed, different type of women. It's a fun comedy to like have playing in the background. I like the Maeve. It's like, okay, she's dating, but she's, trying to figure it out. She's doing this, but then you have Marley, who is like, about her business. I'm still trying to figure out what Marley does. Somebody tell me in the comments if y'all know. But every time maybe something happens, maybe she be bouncing back, just as black women, we be bouncing back after something has happened. So I think that that was kind of good to show. And then even like bringing in Daphne, like, well, the lesbian couple, bringing in that and then showing like how she's like in politics and stuff like that. I thought that that was kind of cool too. It was very much women empowerment show. I do like that. Like the woman was bosses, up to even Khalil's boss who was a woman. So I really enjoyed that it was a women led show. It was show boss women in the whole episode, or throughout the whole series. It's sad because also like shows like this get canceled because they literally said season 3 is gonna be like the last season. And if you look at Harlem only had 4 seasons. Run the World, like, so I feel like these women led shows are getting canceled, but people are really watching them. But I hope in season 3 that they come hard and that it's a good season so that they can do other things. But like it's also sad too because these type of shows are getting canceled that are showing women led empowerment, and that could be something too. We gotta clock that. Like, why are these shows getting canceled? Black led shows, black women led shows. Like, we need these shows. We need to see these different things. We need to see different women friend groups, dating, life. Like, we should definitely have like this positive representation. Because in the media, tries to it just wants us to have reality. These reality TV shows ain't canceled, and I can't really get into all of them, even though I'm about to get into one next. But it's just like, why are these series getting canceled? And that's why I want to bring this out. I want to show more series. I want to talk about more series. I want to highlight more series that we can watch, talk about, so that these shows can be out and our stories can be seen and shared. So yeah, that's kind of what I have to say about that. But let me know in the comments if you're going to watch it or what you rate it. I definitely like season 1 better, which was probably a 10 out of 10. This season was probably like a 7 or 8. I can also go back to watch She's Gotta Have It. She's Gotta Have It was really good. I should have been doing that in 2020. I should have been doing short reviews in 2020, but it's okay. But let me know if y'all want to watch She's Gotta Have It, because that was a good show too. And I want to do kind of like a throwback because Insecure is coming back on there. Like I said, Scandal's coming back. Well, Scandal's on there now. So there's shows that are coming back on there, so we can kind of talk about it as well. Girlfriends is on there. So let me know in the comments if you want me to watch any other show, that we can talk about that as well. So last but not least, we are going to get into Never Ever Mets. Okay, the reunion. So let me remove this and let me bring up Never Ever Mets. Cause child, now this is the reality. Okay, this is the reality show. Period. This is the reality show. So we're gonna get into the reunion. We're gonna talk about the couples, and I'm gonna give my opinion. And then, your Saturday morning with me will be over. I know, so sad. Here's a tear. But I hope y'all are enjoying this. Let me know by liking it, subscribing, and commenting and sharing. I need y'all to do all that. Like it, comment, subscribe, and share. Say with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Okay, like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm doing that. I sound like Dora. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Say with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. Okay, that's gonna be my jingle. Yes, I like that. Let me know if y'all like that. Okay, so let's get into Never Ever Met. So it started off with Irvin and Alieshia. They're the first ones who left um the house. Irvin was definitely, I feel like, kind of condescending. I didn't really like his vibe, but they only been talking online for like 7 months or something like that. Um, And Alicia, she's really not making it look good for the Alicias out there. Like, she comes off like, I'm better than you. And she's like, a man will not talk to me like this. Like, a man will not. I'm like, girl, but like, what type of energy are you giving off for like a man to want to talk to you? Like, how? And so she did take accountability. She did apologize for saying, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that. I should have said this. But it's just like, it was just always like back, 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 back. So I'm just like, I just feel like they didn't like each other. Um, Alicia's saying she dating. I think she's lying. I don't really know. She's just like, oh yeah, and the baby, I'm sorry, the hair. I was not feeling the hair. That's just my personal opinion. And Irvin is saying that he's with his ex. Well, then why would you come on the show if you were still talking to your ex? That's what I'm saying. Like, something's not adding up with them. So they really like, okay, next. Like, he was mad because he was saying that she said he was aggressive and stuff like that. He felt unsafe. And so she was apologizing for like him saying, she was apologizing for saying she felt unsafe. She's like, I could have said something else or whatever. I was like, okay, that's cool. But honestly, I was like, I was over them because I don't even know if they even liked each other. Like, I was like, what? And Alicia just comes off like, I'm da, 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 da. And then Irvin's like, oh, like, it was just like, I didn't see no laughter, no fun. I didn't see no chemistry. That's what it was. They didn't have any chemistry to me. That's what it was. Um, but why was Jay interrupting their conversation? I was like, she and everyone else's relationship, girl, you need to worry about yours. And she's annoying, and she's also kind of a bully and very messy. Like, if you watch the stuff back, she was like always talking like, "What's why are they doing like what's that like why are they doing like, girl, worry about you and Cinco, and where you gonna move your child at." So, yes. Next was Tatiana and Clay, baby. This was crazy. It's crazy. So they started talking about like what they expected from the show and what the reality or whatever. I actually like Tati. Tati was like, I expected to meet him, hopefully, go home with him or whatever if he was a good person. They asked Irvin and Alicia that too, like just to get to know each other, stuff like that. And then Clay was like, I guess Clay like expected the same thing, but Clay was not expecting nothing. He was expecting to have a fun, good time. To me. To me. Okay. And so that's what it was. But they started talking about the hug and the baby and how they were showing how the house was laughing at everything. Like, Charlie did say something like, Charlie's like, this isn't funny, like he's hiding everything from her and stuff like that. So they showed the hug, and then they was like, was the hug inappropriate? And Clay gonna be like, I want to take a poll, was the hug inappropriate? Boy, if you don't think the hug was inappropriate, then that's what your issue is. So people was like the hug was inappropriate and stuff like that. And Tati was like, well, I stand 10 toes down because there was so much leading up. It was the vegan this, like he wanted to do roses. He was love bombing her basically. And so she was like, no, I was done with it. But they didn't talk enough about like him having a baby, him having another baby. Like, they really left a little bit of too many details out for me. And they didn't talk about how he was lying so much and why he would come on here knowing he had a baby and why he didn't tell her. That's what was missing for me. Clay took no accountability, and he was like, how would the Toronto was like, how was the experience? He's like, I would give it a 10 out of 10. Oh, of course you would, because you got to have a CX with somebody, you got to chill, you didn't have to do any responsibilities. And so then I think Tati was like, it'd be like a 1 out of 10. I was cracking up. And Clay's a liar. Chris said, you got to handle her with care. I said, period, Chris. And then here goes Jay. Jay was talking again, like, girl, shut up. Like, girl, why are you in their relationship? Why are you talking? But she did say, like, she felt like she was the last one. Someone's like, she felt like she was the last one to know everything. And I think that that was true. And it's just like when you watching him play back, like, he played her. And I was like, he didn't get enough heat from me. Me personally, he didn't get enough heat from me. I should have their pictures up so y'all can see them, but he didn't get enough heat from me. So, yeah. The whole thing about Never Ever Mess is that they haven't met in person, but they've talked online and stuff like that, if you do not know the series. So yeah, Tati came with the heat, and they was like, Claire, you seeing someone? And he was like, yeah. And then Tati's like, oh, was that your girlfriend? He was like, yes. So they're like, Tati, are you seeing someone? She's like, yeah, I got a roster, period. But then Tati was like, oh, you're seeing someone? Is that your girlfriend? She was like, oh, because that's not what you told me. She was like, before we talked yesterday, she was like, he couldn't give me a straight answer, like if he was seeing someone or not. Like, Clay is trifling. We don't need no more Clays on TV. From him and Clay from Love Is Blind, we don't need no more Clay. So yes, that was that. But I don't feel like Clay got enough heat for me. Clavassier, or whatever his name is. He didn't get enough heat for me on the show. That's just my personal opinion. So next was Brittany and Ty, because they left next. She was talking about boundaries and being uncomfortable. I guess like they talked about that before, But then Ty was like, well, we're in person, so I want to see like if we have that chemistry and stuff like that. And I just think they don't really have that chemistry. They could be a little bit compatible, like with what they want, but they didn't really have that chemistry. I don't know. They didn't ask Brittany like, okay, are you attracted to him? Or are you not attracted to him? Like the host wasn't asking the right questions to me because I'm like, okay, are you attracted to him? Did you like him? She's just like, are y'all dating now? No, we don't care about their dating now. We care about like what's going on. And so they talked about boundaries or whatever. And so he was like, yeah, she told me boundaries on like online, but like not in person. So he was just like, I was trying to kiss her, stuff like that. But I'm like, if you like somebody, like you would want to kiss them and talk to them, or whatever. Like she wasn't doing that. But baby Jay was like, you show Cinco more affection than you showed Todd. Like, girl, get out of here. Like, why are you talking about their relationship so much? Like, it was irritating. So then they talked about that, and she's like, "Well, did you talk about boundaries?" She's like, "No, I didn't talk about boundaries, Brittany." She's like, "That's something I have to work on, stuff like that." So I just was like, "I don't know, like, what's wrong, Brittany?" Like, okay, he was doing stuff. She was like, she was like, "I was jumping your back." He was like, one time, she's like, but then she's like, "I was ironing your clothes," and he was like, "Yeah, but I'm a grown man." So did you not want her to iron? Like, what did you want her to do? So like, I don't feel like they had that conversation. Like, what do they want them to do? Because it was like, okay, I was doing this and I was doing that, but she thought that he was performing for everybody else instead of her. So I don't really know. But then they talked about that too. Like Brittany was like, Jay, you're rude. She was like, you didn't even say hi to me. And then they was like, Cinco even said like, yeah, she apologized for and to Brittany and Charlie because like they didn't say anything. Like Jay didn't say anything when she walked in. So I'm like, Jay thinks she's like this, like I guess person that's like, all cute, think she could be rude and stuff like that. But I heard, well, people were saying that she might be like a pick me or whatever. And I don't even know if she's a pick me, but she was kind of riding for the men though. But it's like, girl, what are you doing? How are you so worried about everybody else's relationship when your relationship is good? Like I wouldn't be worried about nobody else's relationship. So yeah, it was so funny. The men's faces was like woo when Brittany was talking to Jay. Brittany was like, you're rude, you're rude, you're rude. Jay was like, no, I'm not rude. It's just like, she's like, maybe I just can't get along with old people calling Charlie really old. Brittany was like, you would be, hopefully you can even make it to this age, baby. The men's faces was like, it was just like she like I don't know. Jay's energy is kind of off to me personally. I'm not really feeling like a mean girl type of vibe, but like you have a man and you're supposed to be there for your man. Why are you worried about everybody else? I'd have been paying attention to my own relationship. It was so funny though, when that happened. So Cinco and Jay, they are still together. Um, but the bump in the road was talking about how many sexual partners she had in one night. Last week I said something about texting, and I just wanted to clear that up because I forgot. But like, they were talking about it before they got together. It was like, how many people would you have sex with in a night? And I guess Single got upset because he was like, well, dang, how many did you have? And she's like, it was before we were together or something like that. So I don't know, but they're still together. Oh, Brittany and Ty, they're not together, but Cinco and Jay, they're still together. But Jay is rude and says, and then they say Cinco is so patient. And I was like, that is crazy. Like Cinco really is like he's like probably the one of the best guys on the show. But then I was thinking, I was sitting back and I was like, honestly, Alieshia and Jay are very similar to me. Like I think Alieshia needs a patient guy like Cinco. And I don't feel like Urban is that patient. That was my correlation. And I don't understand why Jay is so mean and worried about everybody's relationship. Like she should be in full bliss of hers. Like she's like he came to Chicago. Her family loves her, but then Cinco is trying to be a basketball player overseas, and then they're like, "Are you gonna go visit her?" She's like, "No." I'm like, what? Like she is so mean, but it's like she's mean and he still love her. So I don't know. And he's like, if you ask her anything, she's gonna say no. Well, she ain't. She sure moved to Atlanta, but look, she doesn't move to Atlanta because if you're going overseas, why am I moving to Atlanta? But she's like, her son loves him and everything like that. But I was just like, why are we being so mean? Like I don't understand. It's just like, girl, you should be in bliss. Like, yes, I love him, or yes, I want to be with him, stuff like that. Like, yes, I'm going over there. So I don't know, but Cinco, I would say, is a 10 out of 10. He's nice, but also it could just mean the men aren't that good. But he's patient, he's kind. I think he's thoughtful. Yeah, she was like, he gives me flowers, he sends me flowers, he flies and he sees me. So they got something going there. They got something brewing. And they only been dating for 5 months, so it could be the honeymoon phase. So I don't know. But baby, let's get into Chris and Alexis. Um, Chris and Alexis, they left together, but they're not still together. Chris was younger than Alexis or something like that. And so the whole thing was like they didn't go to the boom boom room. So the host was like, well, did y'all, end up doing it? And Alexis was like, I'm over here like Ty, basically like, no, we didn't get anything. And then Jared starts telling a story about seeing them in the bathroom or something like that. And then Kiki talking about some, yeah, I walked around the corner and this stuff, whatever. Child, I don't know. But then Chris was sending pics to Alexis. So it was just like a whole bunch of stuff. So I think they like did something, but I don't know if they went to the boom room, but they was talking about showers. They were talking about in the showers, like they was in the shower. The Kiki was like, I did not need to see that. So I don't know, but basically they not together. Chris trying to shoot his shot at Tati though, but Clavassier ain't feeling it. And um Clay tried to be like, oh, what do you mean? Like you would have talked to? Because they did the game like, if you would leave with somebody, who would you leave with? Child, Brandon. They were talking about how Brandon and Charlie was talking, and then they was talking about. He was like, Chris and Tati or whatever. So I guess Clay was trying to put some away, but like, why are you trying to put some away when you have a girl? Like, it's not adding up. That's what I be saying. And like Clay, you have no room to be asked questions. But baby Tati was smiling, child. And then after they like hugged and stuff like that, he was like, "Let me move before Clay get mad." I don't know. Tati, I feel like is in her 20s. I feel like Chris is a little too old for her. But hey, I have no idea. Basically, Chris and Alexis aren't together. Alexis is in Dallas, and Chris is in like another state. I don't know if it's in Georgia or Carolina something or whatever. So that was that. And I don't think Alexis is leaving Dallas, but I don't think Alexis is dating, and I think Chris is just chilling. So basically, they're not together. So I was really surprised that they left together because I was like, I don't really feel like they had chemistry. But I feel like she was really trying really, really hard, and she was like, yeah, I had to sit back and reflect. Like, no, he's called me aggressive. He's saying this, he's saying that. So it's just like, no, like, what is really happening? So that was that. For them, the next one was Brandon and Kiki. Basically, they didn't say anything about them. She was just like, would you have told the like lie earlier or whatever, like the secret earlier? They didn't really stay on them too long. I was like, okay, but the era was like, Brandon's cute, Brandon's cute. Brandon said that he wished he didn't harp on like, the drinking too much, but then he did say the ex was a deal breaker, so like they would have left a long time ago. So I don't know. But then they said Brandon has a crush on Charlie. So that was shown in the little picture thing or whatever. They was smiling, they was hugging. I said, now Brandon looks a little young. Charlie, girl, you already got 4 kids, Charlie. You already got 4 kids, okay? So that was Brandon and Kiki, but I don't know if Kiki wasn't drinking, I'm like maybe they would have been to a better start because I didn't really see anything. But then it would have been the secret of like she was still talking to her ex or whatever. But like I don't know. I think Brandon did really like Kiki. I don't know if Kiki still liked it because they were like, oh, are you still with it? She was like trying to figure out if she wanted to be with her ex or if she wanted to be with Brandon. I think Kiki maybe liked the idea of Brandon, but I don't know if like Kiki was like, well, clearly Kiki wasn't fooling because she was still talking to her ex and then still talking to Brandon. But I don't know. I think Brandon's single. I don't think they asked if Brandon and Kiki were dating anybody, but I think Brandon's single. Kiki, child, we don't know. She might be so with the ex, child. We don't know. So last but not least, let's get into Charlie and Jared, baby. Too many secrets and too many kids. All the red flags. Jared was there for the wrong reasons. He was trying to crack and he was just trying to have fun. You just had a baby. Like, what's going on? That kind of rhyme. But it showed all the things. Oh yeah, it showed like never seen footage. And it showed Jared saying like, it don't matter if you crack this one, then a whole bunch of girls are gonna be in your DMs because this is a show or whatever. And it just like shows me like these men were not ish. Like they really weren't ish this season. And he really wasn't ish. It's just so sad that he was not ish. And he kept playing her the whole entire season, like, oh yeah, we're gonna be good, whatever. But really is what's sad is that Charlie was thinking Tati was getting played, and literally she was the one that was getting played the whole entire time. The whole entire time. So they're like, Charlie, like, what's going on? She's like, well, he was telling me one thing and then he was telling everybody else another thing. And that is definitely true. And like when you're watching the show back, you can kind of see that. And so they're like, well, where do you stand now? Like, they stand nowhere. And she was like, well, he says this and he says this. She's like, well, Kim, we could be friends. I could call you or whatever. But then she's like, well, why would I call you? Like, why would I be friends with you? Like, And he's like, well, don't call me. He's like, well, nice to know you then or whatever. So I'm like, basically, she was in Dallas. She lives in Dallas. She can't leave Dallas. It wasn't Alexis. And he lives in South Carolina. And she's like, well, are you not with me because the kids? Are you not with me because I would move? And he was like, well, if you had one kid, I'd have tried to convince you to move. But girl, you got 4 kids, okay? And he just want to have a good time. I think he's just chilling. And then Charlie is traumatized, so she's probably not dating at all. Like she's not dating anymore. So that was that. That was kind of the end wrap up of that, of how that happened. But the new couple should be Brandon and Charlie, Alexis and Ty, and Tati and Chris. So they talked about like their expectations and their reality. Everybody was trying to come to see like, oh, we could see if we could be together. We see, but I feel like the men were just trying to come to see like, oh, if we could have fun, we could meet people, we could be on TV type things. Um, but they all look good. I needed a part 2 because, like I said, everything wasn't said. Clay, Kiki, or Jared, they never really apologized. Them are the 3 villains of the season, I think. 3 villains of the season. A little bit. I wouldn't say Clay is the number 1 villain. Actually, Clay and Jared, they're number 1 villains. And then I would say Kiki. Kiki wasn't a villain. Kiki was like kind of just a liar. Just a liar. But Cinco seemed honest and chill and presented as the best man, but that's all we see because I mean he didn't really have that much competition. Okay. I really like Tati. She was a good person. I think she really tried to get to the bottom of everything and she was like really ready on there. I did like Charlie a little bit, but then Charlie tried to be like acting like so dumb head over heels for this guy that was playing her. I didn't like Alieshia. I didn't like Jay. They were just rude to me. They were just rude people. Um, Brittany was okay. Alexis was all right. I thought Ty was a kind of good person. Like he seemed like generous, but it's like, but then he was kind of like he was charming. Then he would kind of be like rude. And also, I think like the show, like Brittany was trying to protect Ty, like in that question, like, oh, do you think that you would have sexual chemistry with this person? She was trying to protect him, and then Ty was just like, no. But it's like, why would you say no after yeah? And it's like you already have these hiccups. I was like, so many times, like these black like women be protecting men so much, and it's like it's always the expense of their mental health and their mind. And so I'm like, that's another conversation. It's like we're always trying to protect these men, but they never protect us. So I didn't really like that per se. And the fact that he was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, but it's like you're not talking to her, like you're not making her feel safe or something like that. So maybe y'all just didn't have chemistry. That's all that I could think about. I didn't really care for Irvin. I didn't like Jared. I thought Brandon was kind of cool, but he was harping on the drinking a little bit too much. But he presented himself like okay, because that was a deal breaker too. Because why are you talking to your ex and talking to me? Bye. And then Chris, he didn't seem fun to me. He just seemed like so stuck up, and he just kept calling Alexis aggressive and stuff like that. I don't like that. He was kind of rational, but still, I didn't really care for that. And then yeah, I think that was all. Clay, no, bueno, 0 out of 10, negative 0 out of 10. So yeah, that was my review of Never Ever Met. I hope you enjoyed this Saturday morning live with your girl. Next week we'll be doing Divorce Sisters. Let me know. I'm trying to get into Scandal. Let me know if I should do Love Island. I know I'm way behind on that, but Divorce Sisters for real is next, and something else that I might think of to watch. I'll leave it in the comments, and I'll try to watch it for next Saturday at 10:30 a.m. I will see you all. I'm so excited. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. What? Like, comment, subscribe, and share, or like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hey, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I forgot how it goes already, but like, yes, like, comment, subscribe, share. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I like, comment, and share, subscribe. Like, comment, share, subscribe. I forgot. I gotta watch the video, but if you made it to the end, please tell me what your favorite review was. Please tell me what you're watching, and I'll see you next Saturday. Bye.